Okay, my friends, here it is, the Monday morning live stream at the Thrive Like a Viking headquarters. The sun is coming in, blinding a little bit on the white shirt, but you have to bear with me. So I was a little bit late today because I was arranging for you guys some 3 very important podcasts that are links in the description. Okay. I wanted to make sure that what I talk about, you can research further or you can just get a feel for yourself. Okay. So we're going to do the meditation and we're going to see, check in with all you guys. It's Monday morning. So we want to start off the day and the week correctly. And so something that is really at the forefront of my attention is the boom in AI that is happening right before our eyes. And if you don't understand what I'm talking about, then please educate yourself a bit more. All right. So we're going to talk about all this and why I feel it's so important, and why I feel it's important to be very aware of these things as they are happening. All right. And then how they tie into human connection, how they tie into spirituality, how they tie into our day-to-day life, what I think is going to change big time in the very near future. And I'm not talking like 10 years from now. I'm talking like this year or next year. And it has nothing to do with elections or who's in office whatsoever. That matters very little when it comes to things that are actually influencing your life. So we're going to talk about all that kind of stuff, guys. I want to, yeah, there we go. Brian says, it has affected everything. Wait, I mean, infected everything. Yeah, it's like an infection. Definitely. It could be seen that way. But we're going to talk about it here in a little bit. Taida says infected is right. Okay, so I can get to feel what you guys are talking about a little bit. Yeah, how you feel on that. Teats Treats, what's up, my friend? Says Thrive really has my thought process upside down. Last Thrive, someone commented I should just change slowly in little increments, not all at once. I forgot who said that, but thank you. Definitely. So I'm not sure what you're talking about specifically, but yeah, once we go down the path of awakening, it can snowball big time, But remember, if you're watching something like this, you're led here for a reason, because perhaps it is your time. It is your time to awaken from the illusion, and it's a wonderful. The only thing that you have to gain is absolute freedom. So, go all in, my friends. Okay, Sam Potzik, beautiful day in Ohio as well. All right. Oh, wait, I didn't do the sound check. Okay, let's see here. Let's see here. What do we? Coffee. What I say. All right. I'm not really liking this streaming software, what it does to the audio. I don't feel like it's crisp, good sounding audio. I really don't. So I'm just not sure what to do about all the audio. I'm not a tech person at all. So in the future, when we get to land and stuff like that, and it's we're doing in-person seminars and all that kind of stuff, there will be people taking care of all of this kind of stuff. Because I'm not gonna be doing tech stuff. I'm only doing it because I have to. It's a means to an end. It's a means to communicate with you guys, build the community, practice all this, It's a means to an end. But I'm not like, oh, did you see this new search engine? Or, oh, did you see this new streaming software or this new piece of equipment? I'm really not into it. Oh yeah. Teats Treats. Okay, the whole reincarnation story. Yes, that one will. That one can do it. It perfectly explains so many things when you just put your doubts or your thought process out of the way and just accept it for a time. Just say, okay, let us suppose that is true. And then bounce everything you're seeing off of that. It perfectly explains karma. Yes? There is infinite reincarnation, which is what the Hindus have been saying. Buddhists also say. So let us just suppose, I'm not saying this is fact, okay? But so it's infinite reincarnation, but it's all different incarnations of you. All different incarnations of you. So karma, instantaneously, whatever you do to someone, you are doing to yourself, not in a figurative way, like a lot of people think that it is. but in a literal way. Karma, the law, instantaneous. So many things. We could go deep and deep and deep, but that's all part one. There's a part two, actually, which is the last part of all. So, okay, good. You guys, coffee. Hello, Jamie Copeland, Donald Hughes, Spawn Viking, Lisa Brown. Okay, good. Grubster says, I like the sound. All right, good. Yeah, I know Viking Shield Amma. It's definitely some sound, but it also sounds real weird. You know, it sounds like it's got like there's noise cancellation on it or something. I need it to sound like a radio studio. You know, that's what I need it to sound like. So we can't be messing around with subpar audio. Okay. Thank you, Carol. Okay. Thank you. Ooh, Gmon says reincarnation could be the reason why we have intuition in the first place. Yes, and why we can empathize. Why can we empathize? Because we've lived that life, or we are living it, or we will live it. But of course, as we go deeper, we understand that time isn't an actual thing. And so as the illusion, one illusion after the other evaporates, you see, whoa, and it takes your breath away. So, yes, it's compressed. It's like it compresses it for some reason. So can I uncompress it or whatever? But all right, guys. Sounds good, VA Green. I'm glad. Nice sunflower there. So guys, let us drop into the meditative state of mind, okay? So what we're going to do here is what I think is best to practice. Okay? Because it doesn't matter where you're at or what you're doing. Recondition the mind and the body to respond to these 3 breaths. All right? So, wherever you're at, whatever you're doing, just set it on the shelf for a few moments, 5 to 10 minutes maximum. We're going to do a meditation. And together, all around the world, wherever you're at, let us take 3 deep conscious breaths, breathing fully in. Hold. Let it go. Again, breathing fully in. Hold. Let it go. Last one. Fill the lungs all the way. Hold. Let it go. Now allow the body to breathe however it wants to breathe. Naturally, normally. There's no need to try and breathe in any particular way. The breathing is perfectly effortless. Just watch the body as it breathes for you. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. It doesn't have to be any more complicated than that. Focus all your attention just on the breathing. Those of you that have been practicing for a while, you will notice your mind and your body have become more aligned. You are able to drop into the meditative state almost instantly now. This is because you are reconditioning the nervous system. Focus. Do not allow the mind to just wander away. As soon as you realize it has wandered, bring it right back to the breathing. At first, you're focused entirely on the sensation of air as it flows past your nostrils, the area right around the ring around the nostril. Just feel the subtle whisper of air as it flows in and flows out. Remain with that sensation. If the mind wants to wander away, that's not a problem at all. Repetition is the only thing that matters. You just bring it back to the sensation of air. And those of you that have been practicing consistently, 5 minutes every day is ideal at first. Maybe 10 minutes. You will notice that your powers are increasing dramatically. Your powers of focus, your powers of concentration, your ability to regulate your own mood. It's all within your reach. It's all within your control. That is not a figure of speech. It is real. It is literally the power you have. You just have to practice. That's it. Even when I speak during the meditation, don't try to make sense of anything. Just remain with the breathing and allow the brain to process the words I'm speaking by itself. Make no effort to understand. Just observe the breath. And observe how you don't have to try and make sense of anything. The brain automatically does that for you. It's beautiful. After you've been practicing for some time, many of you by now will feel a very deep sense of calm, a sense of peace, and a sense that everything is all right. And that's not just you're not just saying that, you really feel that way. Everything is all right, because it is. It always will be. After you've been practicing for some time, you will feel a sense of certainty about your experience, about your life. The opposite of confusion. Clarity. Remain with the breath. Don't allow the mind to wander. Gently bring it back. This is how we recondition the mind and the nervous system. This is the ultimate medicine for anything. Together, let us take 3 deep conscious breaths, breathing fully in. Hold. Let it go. Again, fill the lungs. Hold. Let it go. Last one. Breathe deeply as you can. Hold. Hold. Let it go. Those of you that have been meditating for a while, as you come out of the meditations, maintain your focus. When you open your eyes, and at first it appears like there's an external world, and oh, I was just on the internal world, but now I'm in the external world. As you deepen your practice, you'll see that that's also an illusion. There is no internal world that is separate from an external experience. It's all internal, everything. So you can train your mind to grasp this realization when you come out of the meditation. You can not give 100% of your attention away to what appears to be the outside world, but keep some of it, the energy field, rooted inside. Meaning continue feeling the breath. Continue not trying to make sense of anything. Just let the brain do it automatically. Just continue all of that. Notice how there will come a time you'll notice there is no difference. And you'll feel connected, and you'll feel grounded, and you'll feel secure, and you'll feel confident. All of that is your birthright. That is how the human is designed to feel. Amazing. Anything less than that is unacceptable. It's unacceptable. Depression and lethargy and confusion and fear, these are unacceptable. These are temporary states the human is designed to use for feedback. Those are feedback mechanisms. Temporary. Fear, oh, we need to adjust. We need to do something different because the organism must survive. Depression, though, mild depression, you have to catch it before it gets deep, is also a feedback mechanism. What am I doing in my life that is causing this? Why am I feeling this way? Why am I feeling a sense of hopelessness or of just, apathy, just whatever, just, I don't even care anymore. How many of you have experienced that in life? Everybody has. But some people, it consumes them. This is not the optimal state. This is not acceptable. And so the good news is it is all reversible. It's all changing, temporary. And so you have the ultimate power. If there's one line for the whole message here, it's that you have the power beyond your wildest belief to shape your experience. And I'm not saying this because I read a book that says this. I'm saying this because my entire life has proven this. So this is how you do it. This is how you do it. You become good at whatever you practice. And so you practice retraining the nervous system. You practice, you don't entertain those depressed thoughts. You don't entertain limiting thoughts. You recognize that they're there. Okay, yes, I see. Self-doubt or self-delusion. It's there. Okay. Why? Feedback mechanism. You briefly think about it. Examine it for a minute, but then you let it go. And you redirect your energies towards things that are constructive and positive and giving of life, giving of energy. And I know many of you have already started to do this because I get emails and messages and stuff all the time, about, that you're getting it, you're feeling it. It's amazing. And so this is of utmost importance. All right. This is of utmost importance. Grubster, you use the word clarity. That's exactly right. Clear. Crystal clear. Yes, Brian Airy, what a beautiful feeling. Yes, Grubster, clarity. Being clear of mind. I used to be foggy. There used to be uncertainty and doubt and sort of, you can't see past, you can't see very far, because the mind is so agitated. You can barely see beyond tomorrow or today even, or right now. And the future is so uncertain and everything is so, you don't have control over it. But once you have control over things, you tame the animal within. And once that happens, then it's silence. The mind becomes quiet. The mind becomes quiet, like a wild stallion. At first it's wow, all over the place, all this power, but then you break the stallion and it becomes under your control. And then all of a sudden, it stands there, awaiting for your command. That's exactly what the mind is like. And so I call that clarity. Yes, I call that clarity, definitely. So, yes, Sam Potsek was able to drop into that peace and clarity pretty easily this morning. It is this morning is very strong. Me too. That was a wonderful meditation. There's, something, it's very strong. Yes. Okay, guys. Now, let's see here. Ooh, yeah, Brian Airy. I used to thrive on chaos. A lot of people are like that. Yes, a lot of people like that. And they will recreate more and more of that in their life because that's where they feel at home. I know. It's a bizarre feeling, but when people grow up in that, so much depends on your childhood experiences because that sets the tone. That sets the program. That's wiring the program. And so many people then will spend their whole life trying to understand themselves without really understanding how the psyche gets wired like that. And so when you experience or you grow up in chaos, you will recreate that in your mind, in your life, because that's the image in your mind. Unconscious, of course. You're not consciously doing this, but unconscious. That's the image in the mind. And so you will recreate situations in life that bring chaos because that's where you feel at home, is in upheaval and chaos and arguments and strife. And a lot of people, that's how they feel loved. If they grew up in that or if they've experienced that, that's how they can feel loved, So, yes, G-Man, the reason behind these limiting beliefs is upbringing and societal conditioning. Absolutely. Absolutely. Guys, if you haven't already, make sure that you read the book, The Biology of Belief by Bruce Lipton. It's a wonderful, well, I'm sure most of you have because I've been saying this already, but definitely Bruce Lipton, The Biology of Belief, it pretty much is his main message. He's got several different books. I've read several of them, but he's got one message really. And so The Biology of Belief is enough. Listen to a few of his seminars or his podcasts. He's a little goofy for sure, but what he says is he's got a lot of good things to say. A guy definitely worth listening to. And yes, Rodney Welshman, Aristotle says, "Give me a child to age 7 and I'll show you the man." Do you guys understand what that means? Give me a child to the age of 7 and I'll show you the man. Because the ancients intuitively knew this. They didn't need science. They didn't need, EKG. They didn't need all this brain scans and all that stuff to understand any of that. They intuitively, over eons of time, they knew this. They know. So, but also the good news is you can change that program. it becomes different and I was going to say difficult, but not actually more difficult. It just becomes different. Up to age 7, the program gets written by observation, by osmosis, by absorbing what is around them. Yes, this is how a child. Think of this. How can a child learn a language? Nobody has to teach the child really. It just observes, and it beep 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 beep. It's all going in, and then it starts speaking that language. If it's born in an Arabic country, it starts speaking Arabic. If it's born in an English country, it starts speaking English. And I mean, it's still mind blowing the level of intelligence that is there. And so it's just absorbing. It's also absorbing much more than just language. Habit patterns, belief patterns. It's watching everything, the way that the adults in its life interact with each other, the screaming or the not screaming, the peace, and the goodwill. It absorbs all of this. And that program says, okay, this is what life's like. Because the ego hasn't formed yet. Yeah? Can you recall when your ego formed? Can you recall when you began life? No. You just kind of, like a dream, you just kind of show up on the scene, and all of a sudden, oh, you're conscious. Before that, the ego hasn't formed yet. It just is. It just is life. It is the energy it is the flow of energy. But then all of a sudden, oh, here we are. And then you begin acting out these patterns the rest of your life. Yeah. Yeah, Lisa Brown, Bruce Lipton, and Joe Dispenza. Definitely Joe Dispenza as well. I mean, huge, both are in the same category. Very, very good things to say. Definitely. My first exposure to Joe Dispenza was, do you remember that movie, What the Bleep Do We Know? About quantum physics and things? Boy, that was a very powerful movie for me back in the day. That's when I was still in the exploring phase, when I was like pushing the bounds of my, so I would like take some mushrooms and watch that. Whoa, and mind expanding thoughts and all of that kind of stuff. But of course now I don't need anything like that because we are expanded now. So, but it was a wonderful introduction. You watched the movie also? Yes. Bruce's talks on epigenetics is really good also. Definitely. That's what the biology of belief is all about. Epigenetics, above genetics. Most people think that, well, it's in the genetics. Well, we'll talk about that sometime else. Yeah. We'll talk about that. Yeah, see you guys. Lita knows What the Bleep. Watched it many times. Sam Potzik remembers that one. Yes, definitely. So guys, there is some seminars or some podcasts in the description. All right. So check those out if you have the time, which I think that it's very important that you do, because I think a lot of people don't understand what is happening right now. They think that the things that are really important is who's in the Oval Office. They think that this election is going to determine everything. It doesn't actually. Okay. And I'm not just saying that from some dismissive standpoint. I mean that whoever's president of the United States doesn't actually control that much as far as your day-to-day life goes. Okay. It's not, the president is not the one that is putting thousands and thousands of Starlink satellites into the atmosphere and beaming 5G down at everybody constantly, creating a web of like a neural network all over the planet. Okay. That doesn't matter if it's Kamala or if it's Trump. That's not going to matter. Okay. That's going to continue anyways. All right. So this is what I mean, how it doesn't really matter. Because the things that affect your life, like all of the chemicals that are in the food supply, all the endocrine disruptors and stuff, and huge money in the lobbying and the way that we grow food with the pesticides and all of that. None of that is determined by who's in office. So it's an illusion. It gets people are so wrapped up right now and I'm on pins and needles. The election is who's going to be in the office. But that's an illusion, guys. I can't say it enough. But like once you see it, you see it. It's like, okay, that would matter. It matters in some things, but ultimately, all those things I just described, none of those people are elected. Larry Fink, the CEO of BlackRock, who is of course just a gopher. I mean, any of these CEOs that you see in public are just figureheads, kind of like the Queen of England or something. They're just a figurehead. But the people actually running things are not known. You would not be able to pick them out of a lineup. That's by design, of course. They don't want to be known. You would pass them on the street, you would have no idea who they are. So they elect figureheads like the president of the United States or like the CEO of BlackRock. These are figureheads, okay? But nobody elects that, like the CEO of BlackRock, okay? So nobody elects these people, and yet they control so much of your destiny as far as in this world. The financial landscape, the people at the Federal Reserve. I mean, think of all of this. Okay, none of that matters really who is elected. So that I just had to kind of give that rant because the atmosphere. So many people are really concerned about this election, But that's why I'm not really concerned because, guys, you don't get to elect the people that actually are influencing your life. Because if it mattered, then they wouldn't let everybody do it. They don't just leave everything up to the fate of people. Well, we'll just see what they want. And then you see online, oh, it's close, 49%, neck and neck. Whoa, who's going to win? I hope you guys watched the Jones Plantation. Did you end up watching that? Because it's a perfect illustration, things we already knew, but a perfect illustration of the election process. It really is. Did you watch the Jones Plantation? I hope that you did. It's available for rent on Netflix or on Amazon Prime. Yeah. Another thing that nobody elects is the people that are designing the AI systems. Now, if you guys, what's up, is it Lucia or Luca Bora? Hello, my friend. You've been watching a lot of the old videos. It's great. I'm glad that you're commenting on every video. It lets me know that you're there. That's awesome. Glad to see you here. What country are you from? Where do you live? Yes, another thing that we are not electing is the people in Silicon Valley who is actually running the show. The people that are coming up with these technologies. So watch all three of the presentations down below. They're good. Mo Gaudat is really good. He is a former chief business officer of Google. And so he really knows what he's talking about. And he says this is the most terrifying thing that has ever faced humanity, ever. And it's not 10 years away. It's 2 years away. Yeah, it's like right now. And so while everyone's so concerned about the election and everything, they have no idea what is actually happening. And the technology that is being rolled out right now is beyond belief. And it happens so fast. So I've been into this for several years now. And in 2020 is when it all began, of course. We entered the digital age, really. But then, so there'd be like an AI breakthrough every like 6 months to a year. You'd hear a few things. But now then it started happening like every couple months. And then it started happening every month. And then it was like every week. And now things are happening so fast. Advancements in AI and technology and computing power and observational powers are happening so fast that the conversation we have on Monday is irrelevant or is outdated by Thursday. It's already old news. No, it's already developed so much more capabilities. It's just mind-blowing, guys. And if you don't really understand what I'm talking about, then dive a bit deeper into it. Okay, it's not just like a calculator. It's not like a really powerful calculator. It's so much more than that. It's going to give the people that control it godlike powers, powers that will be beyond belief. They already, IQ is how they test IQ. Um, the AI is already higher IQ than most people on the planet. But it's advancing in such a way that by next year, and Mo says this, by next year, we could see 300 IQ, 400, 600 IQ, some totally beyond belief computational power. It will be so intelligent that we will have no idea what it's even talking about. It will be so far beyond human comprehension. But who controls this? It's unbelievable. That is why we see it's like an arms race. It is like a Cold War happening right now. Seriously, I'm not exaggerating this. If you're not aware of this, maybe look into it a bit more. Look into the things that Google, everyone is building these databases right here in Fort Wayne. Google just is opening a database. It's like a so many $billion database in this huge, they took up 600 acres of farmland to build this massive database because everything's cheap here. And so there's these huge pushes for these databases, and Google just purchased is purchased like 5 different nuclear reactors. Look these things up, okay? Google purchasing nuclear reactors, all right? All of a sudden, nuclear energy is all of a sudden really good and valuable again. And that's how important it is to the governments of the world, to the companies of the world, because it's an arms race. Who controls this first will control unimaginable powers. And I know that might seem like an exaggeration, but it's not. It's not. So, yes. Oh, Lucia. It's okay. You're in the Netherlands. All right. I am late. Watch back. The power from the meditations are then still very strong. Yes. My name is Lucia, a woman. This whole time. That's funny. Okay. Good to meet you a little bit more. Yes. Brian Aries says, I saw Bill Gates say that he wanted AI to go through the internet and scrub out what he felt as a non-truth. Yeah, it's already here. Those capabilities are already here. It's overnight. The AI has the ability it is the internet, okay? People have been talking about this for years. Now, however, I don't know how you guys feel, if you even know who David Icke is. But I've been reading his books, or I read a couple of his books from many years ago, from the 90s, all right? And he's been saying for a long time that the whole purpose of the internet is to create a neural network over the planet for a sort of hive mind, all right? And he predicted the Internet of Things. He knew about all of these things, all right? Now remember, you don't have to agree with everything a person says to learn from them, okay? Let me just make that clear. But a lot of good things that he has said, okay? And it's all sort of coming to fruition now. You're just seeing it left and right. You're seeing it all over the place. So it's already to the point where the AI has absolute dominion over the internet. But it had to begin by bringing humanity to the point where the internet is the central pillar of human society. Everything that we do is through the internet. Your banking is through the internet. Shopping now is through the internet. Communication is through the internet. So many things are through the internet now. And as all these points of data, you guys have to understand data and the power of that, and how much having so many different points, billions and trillions of different points of data. Now, the human could never process all that. We don't do very well with complexity in that degree. But an AI can instantly process billions and trillions of data points, all sort of, for all intents and purposes, instantly. And it can see patterns, and it can predict, and oh man. So now that everything is linked up to the internet, everything's got sensors on it. Your washer and dryer is on the Internet of Things. Everything's got the internet on it. Everything's smart. Smart coffee maker, smart this, smart dishwasher, smart refrigerator, smart this, smart. Hey Alexa, it's always listening to you. Ba-ding, yeah. What do you need? Your phone is always listening. Hey Siri, ba-ding. Even though, yeah, we shut all that stuff off, but guess what, guys? It doesn't matter if you shut it off. So look at one of the 3 interviews that I put down below is, and this is kind of sensationalized, of course. I'm not into sensationalizing titles, but the video is called Why the iPhone 16 Should Scare the Shit Out of You. Yes? Now listen to that guy. He's really up on the tech. He knows what he's talking about as far as the tech goes. And he will describe to you the new AI capabilities of the iPhone 16. Now, don't think that, well, I just won't get an iPhone 16. No. All phones from now on are going to have all this technology. It's not going to be avoidable. Do you remember a year or 2 ago when they did the thing where if your phone was not 5G capable, it won't work anymore. So you had to get rid of it, or they gave me a new free iPhone because they wanted me to upgrade to the 5G. It'll be the same thing. So before long, all phones will have those capabilities he's talking about in that video. So watch that, okay? Watch it with an open mind. Remember, it's not meant to scare you. None of that is meant to scare you. It's not scary, of course. It's just reality. It's just what's happening. And so we need to be aware of this. Yeah? There we go. It's listening all the time. So 1 second. We're getting the shed delivered that I'll be mixing the fertilizers in. Yeah, so really going strong on all that stuff. Rodney Welshman says, it's a war for your spirit. We are being hooked up to the AI cloud and they're creating a matrix within a matrix. Yes, guys, it's hard to describe exactly what it is because we have no real reference other than movies and stuff because they want a predictive programming, of course. And so you want to watch all of this happening just like you watch the thoughts in your mind, just like you watch the breathing, just like you're watching everything, because that's what you are, is the ultimate observer. Cannot be created or destroyed, eternal, ever present. So Val Thatcher says, didn't Elon Musk talk about AI, that we need legislation to restrict the progress? Yeah. A lot of people talk about that, but guess what? Are you guys aware of the game theory? Do you understand what game theory is? Is basically the sense that if a technology exists that gives one person an advantage over another, I have to do it, because if I don't, the other person's going to do it. Okay? So it doesn't even matter. If I want to say, well, we need to put a hamper on AI, okay, because it's going to be mind-blowingly powerful and it's going to just be beyond human comprehension of what its capabilities are. I can see this already. So therefore, we need to put some legislation on it, okay? I will not advance my AI, okay, because I'm moral and I want to, I don't want Terminator coming, Judgment Day. So I'm not going to do it. Okay, well, those people in that tribe over there, or China, or whatever we want to call it, it doesn't even matter anymore. They're going to continue doing it. They're going to say, well, okay, well, you just keep doing that with your morals and everything, but we're going to go ahead and keep advancing because we want to win the game. And so, unfortunately, our society is set up in such a way as to promote the maximum amount of the game theory. Yes, the maximum amount. And so that's why there's not going to be legislation, restriction, okay? So it's going to get developed to but here's one of the strange things about the AI is that it needs everyone to train it. It needs all this open sourcing and all this, everyone using it right now and stuff, but that's only at first. That's only for a time, all right? But soon it will be then that it will be in fewer and fewer and fewer hands, yeah? And it will give you such unbelievable earning power that a subscription to Chat GPT 10 or whatever is going to be $5,000 a month. So if you can't afford that, then you don't have access to it. You'll have access to the smaller versions and stuff, but no, it's going to be $50,000 a month for the high AIs, because your earning potential will be beyond belief. And even if it's not like that, a lot of people at the top, they don't even care about money, of course, because money is not real. Money is an illusion. It's a means of persuasion and control. All right. So they don't really care about acquiring more money. They care about the social engineering and the power. The power. Yes. So let's see. Cowgirl in Arizona says, very different after his implant. Whose implant? I want to see what you're talking about. What's up, Pam? What? Are you for real? Cowgirl says, my dad got a brain implant for his Parkinson's disease. Now he talks like a fast version of Elon Musk. What? I would like to know more about that in some way. Yes, and that's sort of what is coming more and more. And you see, they don't care about us. The adults now, they don't really care about us, because they care about the 10-year-old now, or the 5-year-old, or the just being born, or that's what they care about, because it's a long game. So there's going to be so many of us. I mean, virtually all you guys I know in this tribe is going to be like, I'm not getting no implant in my mind, in my brain. Why? So I can cruise the internet faster or whatever? No. But we're a dying breed. We will age out. Okay. And these new generation of people, that's the only life that they'll ever know. That's the only life that's the only life they're knowing. Think of the 3-year-old right now, a kid born now. They will never know a life without an internet. They'll never know a life without AI. And the AI will only advance more and more and more and more. So to them, you will just accept, of course, by 2057 or whatever, everyone will have things that because the people will die out. And that's just how it goes. That's just how it goes. This is not a fear based thing whatsoever. This is just observing and seeing patterns, seeing what's already happening. Rodney, I like it, man. Says, we are energetic beings, and it's our attention they are after. Energy flows where attention goes. Exactly. Energy flows where attention goes. If they can get everyone to focus on things, then it comes into manifestation. This is how the law of confirmation works. Now, we've been using this in our own life for several years now, consciously. All of us are always using this law. Constantly. We're just unaware of it. So it can take a while to consciously learn to use this law. But once you do, you have an immense amount of power. So, Rodney, from here, it looks like your thumbnail is of Liver King. You know who Liver King is? It's funny. So... Yes, Brian Airy. They make AI easy, so you will accept it, and it will become part of your day, your life, and it will edit the history we know to the history they want us to know. Exactly, guys, exactly. This is why, if you watch my Saturday live a couple days ago, I discussed the Entropy book, which we will discuss more in depth later. But Entropy was written in 1981. And so I have an original copy, okay? And so the things, it can't be changed. What was written then is still what is written in the book, okay? I have an original copy of The Power of, or The Science of Mind by Ernest Holmes. An amazing book. One of the top, super thick, the size of like a Bible, super thick. Read the whole thing several times many years ago. From 1931 or 1932. Original copy. You have to get original copies. And there's no changing that. Okay? But now, in the age of the internet, the digital age, anything is changeable. Easily. websites, any kind of things that is digitalized, all the stuff is digitalized. Beep, 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 changed instantly without anyone even knowing. The AI is it's all being fed through that. Do you see it? Do you see what we're talking about? It's all being fed through that. And if they want to say this or that happened in this way, they can just, well, look at this old article. Beep, beep, just readjust this, readjust that. It's unbelievable how malleable it is. What's more unbelievable is that people don't see that. Yeah. Miller says, different isn't very descriptive. Good or bad, positive or negative? Yeah, I want to know more about that. Okay, Cowgirl says, he seems like a different person. You know how people are when they are on meth? That is the only thing I can relate it to. I asked him not to, and I have my own feelings about this. Wow. Cowgirl says, it's like the person who was my dad is no longer there, and we no longer talk. What? That is, I mean, I guess it's not that crazy, but I haven't heard from like that, I haven't heard that from like a person in this tribe yet. So that's kind of the first. I would like to know more about that. So, yeah, Grow All Year says, I'll be impressed when AI can drill this concrete wall for me. Exactly. Yeah, there's many things that AI won't be able to do. Those would be the last things that it's able to do. It is like physical things like that when it interacts with the physical world. But the thing is that it doesn't really need to. It doesn't really need to, because it has you to do that. It has people to do that. And all it has to do is convince the people through their perception to act in a certain way. When all of our information comes from the internet, basically, or the airwaves in some way, or the magazines are kind of outdated and all that stuff now. Everything comes through the internet, and that will only be more and more and more in the future. Okay? And remember, human behavior is dictated not by the truth, but by perception of the truth. Remember that. This is crucial to understanding how it's all working. Human behavior is dictated by perception. And where does the perception come from? From the information that it receives. Let me give you two examples. One example is that when I was young, and I've said this before, when I was a child, I used to want to be He-Man big time, because that's the only cartoon I was obsessed with. He-Man, I have the power. And everyone in He-Man was super jacked. Every character was super jacked and healthy and fit looking. So, and I knew that milk would help make me fit, and so when I was real young, I would like wake up early in the morning and drink right out of the gallon of milk. And I would leave the milk, or I would leave the cap off the milk. So my mom got tired of that, of course. And so she made up this little myth, and she said, look, all the vitamins and minerals leave the milk when you leave the cap off. Okay. So you have to put the cap back on. And so I believed that. I said, oh no, the vitamins, I got to put the cap back on. So I never left the cap off again after that. Now, was that the truth? No, of course. The vitamins and minerals don't evaporate into the air, but it didn't matter. It was my perception of the truth that dictated my behavior. I never left the cap off again. And that was so deeply ingrained in me that I was like in my teenage years still sort of believing that. I was like at my friend's house, hey man, you got to put that cap back on the milk, the vitamins, vitamins. I'm like, what are you talking about? But now I know that was a little myth from my mom. Okay. But you see, it didn't matter the truth. It mattered my perception of the truth. That's what dictated my behavior. Likewise, there is a tribe in the South Pacific that believes that if they steal food from one another, or if they steal anything from one another, that a giant iridescent sea turtle will strike them dead. All right? And so therefore, they don't steal from each other. Now, does the truth matter? The truth that, of course, there is no giant iridescent sea turtle that's going to strike them dead? No, that doesn't matter. What matters is their perception of the truth. They believe that's true, and so therefore they are not stealing from each other. Do you understand how perception drives behavior? Not the truth, the perception of the truth. And so that is how we can be manipulated to do anything. And we are already being manipulated. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. It's the perception. Where does the perception come from? The information that you receive. Yes, those tribesmen are receiving that legend, that image from the elders, from the people. They're receiving that information. Where did I get the information about the vitamins evaporating? My mom, of course. And so information received, boom, dictates human behavior. So it doesn't need to drill through the concrete because it has you to do that. Can't outsource your leaky roof. That's true. That's true. Oh man, VA Green says, I'd be more impressed with AI if it could type the same words that I'm saying. Yeah, well, even that has come a long way. When I started writing the book several years ago, a book about traveling and stuff, that dictation software was horrendous. I mean, it misspelled everything and it misinterpreted everything I was saying. Now I just got some latest software, and it's spot on. I can stand way back here. I could stand way back here. I can stand way back here and whisper, and it's spot on exactly what I'm saying. And I can just whisper. I can whisper it like this, and I can just kind of talk a little bit muffled, and it understands exactly what I'm saying because it's learning my particular speech patterns. So the stuff exists, all right? It's just whether or not you have that or not. So watch the podcast. It's only like 20 minutes where the guy describes the new technology that is going to be in everyone's phone. It's not just the iPhone. All the different sensors, all the different capabilities. Every phone is now going to be a localized AI unit, its own processing intelligent unit. All right. And remember, by the time this week is over, by the next live, it's already going to be more advanced than it is now. Right now, all of the capabilities are the worst they'll ever be. They'll only get better and better as far as their capabilities. So, yes, Ms. T, and the information is perceived through observing and studying the human being. Definitely. Brian Airee says, we are closer to it becoming physical. Look up Boston Dynamics. Once this happens, we are all in trouble. Oh yeah, Boston Dynamics, definitely. It's all about developing the technologies though, like these robotic dogs and things. Okay, but why? Because the reason you get a dog is for the companionship, not because it can, it just, okay, we're at a point now where the technology has to be accepted by us. Now, do you remember when text messaging first came out? This is just an example off the top of my head. When text messaging first came out on your little dumb phones, you remember that? And it was like, well, text message, why would I send a text when I could just call them? You know, it didn't make any sense. And I didn't text. I was like, why would I do that? I could just call you because that's what we were used to. But now you can't imagine not texting. I text everybody. I don't even like to talk on the phone. I would way rather just text because it's so much more convenient and you can get to it when you want. And you can just say to the point, you know, send pictures and stuff. I never talk on the phone anymore if I can, help it. In the same way, like the Boston Dynamic dog. You all know what I'm talking about. That dog from Black Mirror, the exact dog. I mean, people know that this stuff's coming. And so at first it's like, well, why would we want that? Because the reason you get a dog is for the companionship, for the heartbeat, for the eyes looking at you, for the excited to see you when you come home. Oh my gosh, it's so excited. I haven't seen you all day. You know, that lifts your spirits up and wow, yeah, you know, that's a good feeling. The energetic exchange between two beings. That's why you get a dog, you know, or one reason. You don't get it because you want this cold piece of machinery that is going to, you know, get up and observe everything and going to, you know, can play your favorite music. Hey, dog, play my favorite music. Well, who cares? You know, or hey, dog, open the door. Okay, why? You could just open the door. You know, hey, dog, go get me a soda pop. Okay, why? You could just go get it. We're at that level now. But before long, it will be like the text messaging. Everyone will have a robotic assistant in some way, and I couldn't imagine life without it. It's so easy because the dog goes and gets my beverage. Yeah, never mind that it has 360-degree cameras and microphones, and it's constantly sensing your heartbeat and reading your pupils and sensing your twitching of your eye. No mind about all that. Never mind about all that stuff. It's about fetching your beverage for you. That's what's important. Never mind about all this other stuff. It's necessary so that it doesn't run into things. People are being led to the slaughter. I'm telling you. I'm telling you, you know? Yeah, exactly. Bushcraft Baron. Hey, dog, did you feed the kids? Yeah, exactly. Hey, dog, can you... Why? Nobody ever talks about why. They talk about, you'll watch these, I watch tons of seminars and presentations and things about latest technology and about things like AI and things like this. But nobody ever talks about the why. Why do we need this? Why do we need the Boston Dynamic dog? Why do we need an Alexa? We were just fine for 250,000 years or however long. Everything was fine. How is this improving anyone's quality of life? I see this new technology and look, all these drones can fly out and then you can program them to follow people and you can program them to fly down and pop a little bullet onto their head. Wow, this is amazing. Why? Do you even understand? They've forgotten about the why. They don't even care. They're just, look what I can create. The hubris of the human mind. Look what we can do. Wow, how powerful and intelligent we are. Is that intelligence? Is that really intelligence? I have my doubts. I just don't see it. I just don't see it. Right. Miller said, okay, and this is the thought process. So, okay, look, it's kind of a bunk point. It's kind of a moot point to ask why we progress, kind of built into our nature, don't you think? To a degree, it sort of is, in a way. But this has become hijacked, and this has become, we don't even think about it anymore. Well, you just grow for the sake of growth. It's progress. We've been deluded into believing that. We just grow because why? Well, for the sake of growth. But that is the ideology of a cancer cell. Growth for the sake of growth is cancerous. Literally, that is what a cancer cell does. And so, based on my travels over the world over those 10 years, into far reaches of the places. Look at the Travel Like a Viking channel. We've only just begun on that channel. And I've seen this, that we have become like a cancerous growth to the planet. Definitely. Because of that mentality that just grow and progress. But it was not always that way. It used to be ancient cultures, the ancient Greeks, for example. I lived in Greece for 2 separate seasons. And to the ancient Greeks, their view of the world was not one of where we're progressing. Our current worldview, we think that we're progressing in an upward linear curve towards more perfection, towards more order, and towards more betterment in the world. To the Greeks, it's actually, we begin in the golden age, the ancient Greeks. We began in the golden age when there was no illness, there was no disease, there was no hunger or famine, there was no ill will. Everything was super plentiful, gentle. Okay, we began in the golden age. And they have like 5 ages: the golden age, the silver age, the bronze age, the iron age. And in each age, there is successively less. There is more hardship. There is less beauty. There is more strife. There is more scarcity in each successive age. And we are currently in, I believe, according to ancient Greek philosophy, the Iron Age, which is the last age of maximum chaos and maximum entropy and maximum disillusion. Yes, of maximum strife and struggle. And so to them, the ancient Greeks, Aristotle, or the the idea was not growth. Okay, the idea was not growth. The idea was to preserve the order of things. To the ultimate society in their mind was one that produced the least amount of change, the least amount that preserved the natural order of things for as long as possible, that had the lowest impact ultimately. Because the more the impact, the more it was going to degrade the ages. And this was just understood. And this is more in line with the natural laws of the world, of the universe, of the entropy law, the second law of thermodynamics. Yes? So, definitely. Oh, I get it. Miller says, I don't necessarily disagree with you, by the way. I enjoyed the speculation. Appreciate that you are willing to engage. Keep on keeping on, Nate. Yes. See, this is very important to me. I am this way as well. It's I don't need anymore to like formulate an opinion. Do I agree with this person or disagree? Do I agree with that or disagree with that? I don't even care. I just want to understand. That's it. I just want to understand. So the whole society right now is trying to pull you into a decisiveness. Yeah, you're either left or right, Republican or blue or red. You're either this or that. Get on one side or the other. No, there's a whole. I'm not on either. You're a whole. There's a whole different spectrum of possibilities that exist. So we don't have to be so quick to make up our mind about this or that. Some things, yes, but things like like what we just talked about. Okay. All this stuff that we're talking about, we don't have to come up with decisive opinions or agreements or disagreements. We just observe and understand. This is important. Yeah, Grubster, eliminating self-worth, it seems. But why? That's the question. But why? Nobody can ever give a good answer to that because it's already just, just growth because it's progress. Well, that's already settled. The science on that is already settled. More progress, the better. More AI, better for human society. That's already settled. No, it's not settled. Okay? It's not settled. So, okay, guys. Oh man, this is happening everywhere. Miller says, it's not that people create a problem and then create a solution. Individuals identify a problem and then capitalize off the solution. This is a good way of looking at it. Lisa Brown says, people are uncomfortable with uncertainty. Yes, definitely. And that is human nature, for sure. Part of it, hardwired into human nature. Yes. And that is the need to be certain, the need to know. Yeah. And this comes back from our tribal brains, definitely, which we still are these beings, evolutionarily or biologically speaking. We are still those beings, that we still have that hardware. Yeah. So where we have to know because our survival depends on it. But we live in a totally different world, a whole different realm now. So you want to be comfortable with not really knowing. And how do you do this? It all comes back to the meditations. Just retrain the nervous system to observe, to witness, to see, to notice if there's feelings coming up in you. Witness this, observe this, and then observe the sensations that are coming up in you. And don't have to attach to them. I don't want to feel this, or I got to feel more of that. No, just observe. Just recondition the nervous system. So, all right, guys, I think we've gone deep enough for today. What do you think? So, yes, we are going deep this morning. That's right, Sam. So, guys, thank you for being a part of this. And I think that's enough now. So, if you get time over this next week, sort of make it a priority to watch those 3 interviews down below. Okay. And I want to talk about them again. We're going to talk about this kind of stuff probably a little bit more in depth or more often because it's so important. And I want to know you guys' thoughts on all of this. Yeah. And so we will be back here next Monday. And if you guys have more ideas about, I missed the $1.99, $2. Thank you very much, Teats Treats. It says loving the info I get here. Yes, thank you very much. Might need you to send me well, I don't know yet. I don't know. I think that the plant is still doing fine. So, oops. Okay, guys, let's see. Is there anything else that I think this is pretty much it. Thank you guys for starting the week with me. And so we will see you next time. Infinite Spirit goes before me and opens the way. Infinite wisdom tells me what to do and what to say. Infinite Spirit goes before me and opens the way. Infinite wisdom tells me what to do and what to say. Infinite Spirit goes before me and opens the way. Infinite wisdom tells me what to do and what to say. Yes. Lita knows, says, this was great. Boy, I lack this type of conversation in my life. Yes. This is one reason I love talking with you guys, is because of that reason. So, all right, guys, later.